What's up, guys? Chris Moulton, Andrew Martin. It's the Union Report. We have with us Miles Lyons. How you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good, man. The sun's back out. I couldn't be happier about that. You guys just came off the training pitch. How did that go?
Oh, it was a great session. Just working on some transitional stuff and just getting to work with the guys. So it was a good time.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to kick it off with a question kind of going back to your early days. You spent a good amount of time at the Barca Resident Academy. How do you feel like that time prepared you for professional football, both on and off the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I played there for 4 years, and I was fortunate enough to play with a lot of like professional players there. I mean, we grew up, there was like 7 to 8 professional players like on the team. Like, we all grew up to be professional, so it was really nice. The style of play there is kind of similar to here. We obviously like to keep the ball and to attack. So growing up there in that system, I don't know, it just prepared me to kind of just attack in the professional way of life. So it was nice.
Nice. Andrew, you got a question?
I sure do. So I know Elijah Paul also went to Barca
Yeah.
Academy. I think he was a year ahead of you. And then you guys are both from Arizona, so I'm just curious how much overlap you guys have had prior to this season, or if you had any.
Yeah, so we were actually the same age group. We're both born in 2002.
Okay.
So he actually played at Barca for 6 months. So we were able to kind of overlap there, which was kind of crazy. And then actually in 8th grade, we played on the same Olympic development team.
Oh, wow.
So like we've known each other for better part of a decade, which is kind of crazy. And now we're roommates here, so it's awesome. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, you know how to get under his skin when you're on the practice field.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I try to keep him happy, just get him assists. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you got a couple of those already.
Yeah,
so very good.
Thank you.
And one other question that I'm kind of interested, going back to the Arizona piece. You've played in a lot of warmer climate areas like El Paso and Arizona. How dramatically different is it for you to consistently play here where it's a little cooler?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, honestly. I've never lived by water before, so it's like the beach is like 10 minutes from my apartment, which is really crazy.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's really nice. You know, I can feel a nice breeze, but I feel like you can kind of run all day, which is a bit different from Tucson and El Paso. But I mean, I've really enjoyed the weather. It's really awesome.
It is. You get acclimated to it, and then you go home, and you're like, "Oh, it's so oppressive
like,
to eat." Like,
what? Yeah, no, it's like anything over 80 degrees. Like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
It's hot.
So, Miles, I wanted to ask, in your academy bio, you credit your parents with shuttling you like back and forth, and I'm just curious, how did that support from your parents impact your journey?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. You know, as a parent, when your child's trying to achieve something that, like, I don't know, you're always told growing up that like professionals, it's like only like the 1% or like even less than 1%. And so as a parent, it's kind of hard because you want to be realistic for your kid, but you also like want to, I don't know, support them. And I think my parents like really found the balance with that. They gave everything. They sacrificed a lot for me to be where I am today. You know, taking me to Casa Grande. That's an hour-and-a-half drive every day. So they did that for me, and they also really made it known that education is important as well. I'm not going to be a soccer player forever, and I'm not only a soccer player now. So they wanted to make sure that I was set for life. So
That's amazing, man. That is really... Andrew, you got a question?
Yeah, following up on that, I know that you had, I believe, committed to the University of Portland, where you wouldn't have known it at the time, but you would have taken up for Nico Campuzano, who just graduated a couple of years before. But how difficult was the decision to go pro versus continue your education at that time?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always wanted to be a professional. I wanted to spend my junior year, or like, I wanted to commit to a college my junior year, and then spend senior year trying to go professional. And then obviously COVID-19 happened, so a lot of seniors got an extra year of eligibility. And then Portland got in touch with me, said, look, we're kind of going to need you to take a gap year, which kind of worked out in my favor because it gave me more time. First off, to develop as a player and as a person, so I could eventually get a shot with El Paso. So I don't know, everything kind of just worked out. And for me, like, I was always going to go to college, whether it was online, like going to play soccer for a school. So either way, I was going to get my education. So.
Yeah, smart. And you had mentioned that you're not just a soccer player. What interests are you involved in outside of your profession?
That's a great question, actually. Well, I just graduated college right now from Bellevue University.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats, man.
And then other than that, I mean, it's really volunteering here within the community.
What was your degree in, by the way?
Business administration.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so thank you. But basically volunteering here within the community, working for a community partnership for youth. They work with a lot of schools, and you've heard of them, I'm pretty sure. So working with them, and also trying to start my own business, like a life coach mentoring business, talk about my journey, and I don't know, try and help push people to pursue their passions, really.
We've interviewed so many guys, and I would say you're so well spoken.
Oh,
you
thank
really
you.
have just kind of, I guess the kids would call it a vibe or whatever. But honestly, start a YouTube channel, man.
Thank you.
I would tune in and subscribe.
Thank you so much.
So getting back to you on the pitch, you have a really there's an attacking element to your play. Obviously, every time we see you, you're just motoring back and forth, but you're also so sound defensively. How did you find the time as you were coming up and training to kind of balance the attack with such a polished defensive skill set?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So I started out playing forward when I was younger. So naturally, I always like to go forward. But as I started to get older, you know how it works. Sometimes you get pushed back and pushed back, pushed back. So then I just found myself at outside back because it was about a good balance of attacking and defense. And also when I played forward, I'd find myself tracking back, trying to take people out. You know what I mean? So I think outside back was like a good balance for me. I mean, it's still really trying to hone both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? Really perfect my end product, crosses, shots, and goals, assists, stuff like that. And then also just the defensive things every day. I'm talking with Jordan, he played my position, so he has pretty good insight there. So really just trying to.
Yeah, he played a couple of years.
Oh my God, yeah, a couple of years, yeah. So it's really trying to be a sponge and soak up as much information as they can.
Nice. Andrew?
Yeah, I think you've been an awesome addition to the club. What went into your decision in joining the team? I think it was USL Tactics a few weeks ago said that you were in the early running for the off-season signing of the year in USL Championship. So It's been a great fit. So how difficult or not of a decision was it to come here?
To be honest, it just took one conversation with Coach Jordan and Coach Jeremy. I think that when you speak to someone and you just feel their energy and you feel it could be a really good spot. I felt that for sure. And just hearing the environment that he wanted to cultivate. Obviously the season last year for Monterey didn't end up how you guys wanted, with not qualifying for playoffs.
Right.
But I heard that the mission that Jordan wanted to bring across for the season and the additions that he was going to bring, and also how he could help me improve as a person and player. So, I mean, I was sold right there. I just wanted to be a part of it and just represent the club.
All right, I'm going to read this question because it's a little long, so bear with me. So sometimes when I'm talking to Andrew, or even more so when I'm talking to my daughter when she comes to the games, I refer to you as the Lion King, okay? So with that said, are you more Simba or are you more Mufasa? And Simba being more just can't wait to be king and Hakuna Matata, you're still growing as a player, or Mufasa, who's more everything the light touches on the pitch is mine, and you're working more on your leadership?
That's actually a really good question. I would actually say a combination of both. I think it's pretty important for me to have a combination of both because I want to have the hunger that Simba has to be that kind of underdog, kind of rise up the ranks. But you also want to have the confidence of Mufasa, say I'm it,
This
I'm here.
Guy, man.
So
I love it, dude. I'm loving it right now.
I kind of want to have both, and I think that you need to have both if you want to keep on. First off, maintaining your level, but if you want to keep on progressing.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's
awesome,
that's
man.
it for me.
Is there a Timon and Pumbaa in the squad that you want to? Who's your boys? Who's your boys in the dressing room or when you go hang out? Who's your
Honestly,
guys?
What's special about this team, right, is that everyone. Yesterday, the whole team, we were out at the beach in Del Monte.
Nice.
So it was I don't know. You can't really just say one or two people because I feel I can hang out with any of the guys. And I think that's special, and I think that maybe you guys can see that on the field, the way that we work for each other.
Absolutely.
And I think that's going to be pretty important as the season moves on for us to continue that. But I would say everyone. I love this team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Andrew, any other questions?
Just one kind of final quick hitting question. One player, current or past, that your favorite or you've modeled your game after.
Ooh.
Or that you like to play against?
That I like to play against. That's a really good question. I gotta. Okay, obviously, like I really like Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Those are guys that like I looked up to. Playing in the Prem and stuff. But one of my favorites would probably be Dani Alves and Marcelo. Some of my favorites actually. Those two guys. I think growing up, when I was like 12, 13, even younger than that, you're watching El Clásicos, you're watching Barcelona, you're watching Real Madrid, and seeing those guys with the freedom that they play with on the ball, but they're also, I wouldn't say Marcelo's the best defensively, but like what they can do with the ball, it's something that like you have to respect and admire. So definitely those guys. That's why I always like to fly forward and see what I can do in the attack. But yeah, those two for sure.
That's awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Miles, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast, man. And
thank you so much.
We hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next time.